Most of us have heard of transsexual or transgendered people, but few understand the reasons behind someone's desire to live as the opposite sex.
Tonight, KXLY4's Kalaichak explores what it means to be mixed gender and to live in a culture that has yet to understand it.
Right, many of us could probably say that we've heard of transsexual or transgendered people described as sick or disgusting. Gianni says he's heard those words used to describe people like him. But he says an overwhelming desire to live as a man has forced him to bear the burden of a culture that is less than accepting.
I was born Holly Casey, and my birth date is March 23rd, 1961.
She was the youngest of 4 children, one of 3 girls born into a conservative Catholic family in Ohio. Growing up in the 60s, Holly says she tried to enjoy the things that little girls were supposed to enjoy. But she says it was all just a show.
It just comes to a point where it's like acting. As you get along in life, you just get tired of that.
Holly says she never felt any connection to her own sex. She says she felt like a boy.
And you were happiest when people thought you were a boy?
Yeah, I was definitely happier that way. It felt right. It felt comfortable.
And when she hit puberty, Holly says accepting her body got even tougher.
It was like the final blow, you know. I could no longer deny that I was a girl.
Now, after 48 years of what Holly calls living a lie, she's becoming the man she's always wanted to be.
I'll finally be able to be who I am, who I was meant to be. You know, after all this time, I'm finally going to be in the skin that I want to be in.
Holly Casey is now Gianni. Gianni lived as a transgender for the last year, meaning he was living as a man but had not undergone surgery. Gianni changed the sex to male on his driver's license and is in the process of changing the sex on his birth certificate. And he's taking testosterone to give him male characteristics like a lower voice and facial hair.
I don't have any female hormones in me at all right now, so that's like a huge milestone. I like it.
And in March, Gianni took the biggest step, undergoing a double mastectomy to remove both breasts, a move that turned his conservative family against him. They haven't spoken to him since he announced his transition last winter.
What do you say to people who say you should embrace the body that you were born with?
You know, I did that a lot to myself, and you know, all I can say is that I'm 48 years old and I've tried. You know, it's hard to explain to somebody when you don't feel like you're in the right body.
It's something psychologist Laura Asbell understands very well. She says a person's external gender is not always the same as their physiological gender. And she says what causes the severe anxiety for mixed-gendered people is a culture that doesn't understand it.
My experience is that individuals are not uncomfortable being transgender, that they're uncomfortable with the stigma that goes along with being transgender.
Asbell says sex is not black and white. She says there's a wide spectrum when it comes to sex, and mixed-gendered people fit in between. Asbell thinks that as our culture becomes more accepting of that, fewer transgendered people will seek surgery.
That there's going to be more comfort being who we are, regardless of what body we're in.
But Gianni says life as a man has made him feel more comfortable than ever before.
I see myself finally. I'm looking at the person that I feel like I'm meant to be.
Feels good.
It feels great. It feels awesome.
Gianni lives with his girlfriend and her 2 kids and is working toward a general studies degree at Gonzaga University. And though society might shun his decision, Gianni says for the first time in his life, he's finally content and headed in the right direction.
And right now, so little is known about transgender health among people in our society. There are groups, though, dedicated to researching it, creating awareness around it, and even creating public policy.
Does he plan on doing any more surgeries to complete the transformation?
Right now, he says no. He says he's happy with the mastectomy, and he's as happy and as content as ever before.
Sure sounds like he's happy. Yeah, it's good.